Be a Democrat. And I'm the Secretary of State for all Arizona voters, regardless of their party or whether or not they have a party. I have to advance the interests of all of Arizona's voters. And that's what I'm going to do. I did it in 2020 when we ran that great election that ended up being my own political defeat. So, you know, integrity matters in these jobs, especially in this job where you've got to be above the fight. That's how I intend to continue to operate. Well, we've done a lot in our 100 days in office. I think we've reorganized some portions of the office well. We've identified some spaces that really hadn't been given the resources in the past. And I think some of that had to do with politics, to be honest. I don't blame any secretary prior for anything that may have fallen through the cracks, but we've really got to bolster our business services. We've really got to make sure the counties have the support they need for election stuff. And we've also got to look to, you know, our libraries and archives facilities. And we've really got to focus on the security of our personnel, hoping we can open up to the public again the second floor service counter, not just for business services, but for election services as well, so people can walk in and do the business that this office offers them. The team that I've built in office here is really my biggest point of pride. We've got a whole panoply of really experienced mid to late career professional government administrators who are not going to get distracted by shiny objects. They understand the mission. They understand what we need to do from a very technical, detailed perspective, from a policy perspective, from a finance perspective. And so we've really got sort of the basics covered really nicely. But the Secretary's office has not had the size of staff that it needs to operate for a very long time. I think I was a little bit surprised at the lack of support from the state from a budgetary perspective. It is as if secretary after secretary after secretary, going back several administrations, had been starved of resources. And for a place where so many legislators are so concerned about security and training and the operational effectiveness, even on the business transactional side where we help businesses move and move the economy forward, we just haven't been given the support in the Department of State that I think people talk about. More people are coming around to understand the reality of the circumstances when it comes to election administration in Arizona. More people are realizing that there was nothing wrong with Maricopa 2020 as we continue to be vindicated in investigation after investigation, audit after audit. And so I feel really good about the progress that we're making. Maybe a little slower than I would hope, but we're getting there. But if you look to the election results in the fall, you see the election skeptics lost. Blake Masters didn't win, Kerry Lake didn't win, Mark Fincham didn't win, Abe Hamadeh didn't win. So Arizonans really rejected the notion that there was something wrong through that referenda, that those of us who believe in Arizona's election administrators and the American citizens who run our elections, they believe in those folks. That's a civic faith that has not been lost. And I think more people are moving in that direction. The voters sent a pretty clear message this fall. And so I think it's time for some folks in the legislature to catch up, and I think they're getting there.